Let's look at the general principles of an audit or requirements of an auditor. And this is according to ISA 200, and it requires an audit to be performed in accordance with the following general principles. First is compliancy with the code of ethics relating to an audit of financial statements issued by ICPAU and IFSC. So this one, the compliance with the code of ethics, it requires the auditor to comply with the fundamental principles. In topic 2, we looked at the fundamental principles where we had the integrity, objectivity, competence and due care, confidentiality, and then professional behavior. So an auditor must comply with the fundamental principles when performing an audit. Then secondly is perform an audit in accordance with International Standards of Auditing, also known as ISAs, and these provide the best principles and essential procedures. So an audit should comply with all the ISAs relevant to the audit engagement, and the auditor is required to state whether an audit complies with all the relevant ISAs. Then thirdly is professional skepticism. So professional skepticism, it is where an auditor performs an audit with an attitude of professional skepticism that the financial statements may contain material misstatements. Like professional skepticism, it means first is that the auditor performs an audit when having a questioning mind to reduce the risk of overlooking unusual transactions. Like they do not trust anything that they see, they question everything that they see. That's what we call the attitude of professional skepticism. Yeah, so they are supposed to perform an audit with the attitude of professional skepticism so that they do not overlook anything or unusual transactions. Then another meaning of professional skepticism is be alert to conditions which may indicate possible misstatements, and misstatements can be due to error or due to fraud. Then another meaning, it's the auditor must make critical assessment of the audit evidence obtained. For example, they should question the reliability of documents and responses from management and those charged with governance. Then another meaning of professional skepticism is having persuasive audit evidence that those charged with governance are honest and have integrity. Like you must find evidence or proof that shows that those charged with governance and management are honest. Yeah. So in short terms, what I can say about professional skepticism, it's having a questioning mind. Having a questioning mind and then being alert to conditions which may indicate possible misstatements due to error or fraud. Then another principle we have is professional judgment. So an auditor should exercise professional judgment in planning and performing an audit on financial statements. So professional judgment, it's like application of the relevant knowledge and experience to the facts and circumstances. That's professional judgment, like you apply relevant knowledge and experience. Then lastly is sufficient appropriate evidence. So an auditor should obtain sufficient appropriate evidence during the audit in order to obtain reasonable assurance and to reduce the audit risk to an acceptably low level to enable the auditor to draw reasonable conclusions. So those are the 5 general principles of an audit or the requirements of an auditor.